The push for censorship of the classics continues. I am serious. I don't think like within 10 years from now we're going to have any of the original classics out there. They're all going to be edited for the woke agenda. They're all going to be pushed by this New York publishing elite into something different, something unrecognizable from what these works were before. These are beautiful books, and modern mores, you want to call them mores, but they're really not, don't jive with just like how anybody ever lived throughout history. You got to remember that. And so people know that there's something wrong here and that they have to erase the past in order to get to the future. This is actually a big communist sort of plot point over the years. If you go look up the Communist of America agenda from the 1960s, that's one of the big deals, making sure that people don't understand history, don't know what people used to be like, so that you can have this year zero mentality where you can just rewrite everything in your own image, is very much a ideal of the Communist Party. I know you're not allowed to talk about that these days, but you know what? I don't care. I'm going to talk about the truth here. So they're editing everything. We talked about how they're changing 1984 to have a female perspective now. We talked about how they are making Charlie and the Chocolate Factory edited so that their word fat isn't in there, because you can't have the Oompa Loompas being fat. Gosh, fat shaming's terrible. Well, now they're going further and they're editing the James Bond books. Yeah, it's real. Let's get to that in just a second. My name is John Delarose. If you're new to the channel, I'm a #1 best-selling author and award-winning comic creator. These are my books. I write science fiction. I've actually got a spy like in space in the Stars Entwined series here. So if you enjoy that kind of thing, and if you enjoy space opera, military science fiction, you'll absolutely love this book and the ensuing series. I recommend the whole trilogy to get that full experience. But I've got all my books on Amazon. That link's in the description below. And if you want to support directly, you can go to my Subscribe Star right here. And of course, support the channel monthly and get all my content early as I release it. Really appreciate you guys who do so. There's a Patreon alternative because Patreon banned us for hate speech, believe it or not. Yeah, they didn't tell me why. They just did. Check this stuff out. Those links are in the description below. I really appreciate your support of the channel. You guys have been awesome. All right, story of the day. Here we are. James Bond books edited to remove racist references. Oh, that's dastardly racism. Reissued version of Ian Fleming's classic works will feature a disclaimer. Oh, no, not disclaimers. Followed a review by sensitivity readers. Of all things, James Bond getting reviewed by sensitivity readers is absolutely freaking ridiculous. Obviously, James Bond is all about that like macho alpha male sort of mentality. And of course, loose women in their situations who are just throwing themselves at him. That's not going to be very sensitive by itself right there. But I guess you got to work on that racist element first. This is very interesting. So what do we got here? The James Bond movies are rewritten to remove a number of racial references from Ian Fleming's work. Now, this was written in the 60s, and so it's in a 1960s context, of course. So making racial references and all that, I'm trying to remove this. I'm sorry, guys, but I would have to start my free month trial to the Telegraph, and I don't want to do that. If you want to remove the context of that, you're actually going to remove the entire novel, since this sort of 007 agent sort of scenario only really works in the context of the 1960s and the Cold Wars. But they only care about references in certain demographics, and we know about this. You can guarantee that the references to Russians and things like that are not going to be removed. That any negative connotation toward, of course, Russia, the USSR, any of that, not going to be removed. That's okay racism, according to the publishing elite these days. It just matters who the target is, not actually what's being said. Some people are more equal than others. That's just kind of how our society's been in recent years. So another classic absolutely removed. Make sure that you get your classic versions of this. I just got an old copy of Moonraker last year. Absolutely gorgeous work by Ian Fleming. Worth the read. I geek out on this stuff a little bit. And I wouldn't want it changed. I wouldn't want anything in there censored or removed, because I just think that's kind of wrong. It is the modern day book burning, don't you think? All right, check it out. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. They're pushing on every front, my friends. Hit the like and subscribe button. And of course, check out my books. They'll never be edited because I wouldn't allow it, except for by my editor. But wait, but my editor wouldn't censor me. I'm going to end the video.